But the reason Amma is here is not to talk about Entourage. She certainly wasn't booked for that reason.
Indeed.
But the main reason is because we have a big announcement. That's big announcement music. That's what that is. Okay, so we got something big to announce, as you might have realised, and it's this. Well done. Stop. Well Done You, which is our short film competition, is back.
Is it back?
It's bigger and it's better and it's backer than anything we've ever done.
Yeah.
But this time, we're part of Get Creative, which is the BBC's big year-long arts and culture thing. So it's a Well Done You too, if you will, Mark.
Tish. So here's how you enter. The short version is you make a film that's up to 2 minutes long and meets the BBFC's U certificate classification. There is, however, a long version.
And we could start with some do's and don'ts.
Go on.
So do make a short film, 2 minutes or less. If it's longer,
You're out.
basically 2 minutes 1 second is no good. Do be 13 years old or over. That's a lower age limit than last time. And if you're 13 to 17, do get permission from a parent or a guardian. And also, do be an amateur.
So does that mean that the people that made Entourage can't enter?
It certainly does. In fact, we would invent ways to stop them if they were in case they were 12 years old. We would stop them. So this is also important. Only people who have not been previously credited or paid for their work in film, video or television production. This is the short version, by the way.
Yeah, this is the long version.
The competition is open to individuals or groups of friends, but all participants must be amateur, including actors and musicians. That's all.
We're very clear.
If you're married to someone who's in the movie business, it's no good.
Yeah.
If your mum...
Amma is waiting. Do you want to move on?
Yeah. If your mum
is
Judi Dench, you can't do it.
I'm just trying to work out if I can enter or not. Okay. I'm not
sure. You're professional. No.
I haven't finished. Do make your film in any genre, any style. And can we lose the music now? This is so important. It's distracting from me. Okay. Do make your film in any genre and style. And most importantly, do be original, incredibly imaginative and creative. And Mark has all the don'ts.
Okay, so don't include strong sex, violence, frequent strong language, blood, sex, gore, all that sort of stuff. Anything that you wouldn't have, or this is from the BBFC website, antisocial behaviour which young children may copy must be clearly disapproved of. That is directly from the BBFC website.
And we need to, and the reason...
We've stressed that because...
Because last year we had some movies were disqualified because it had... what might be classified as imitative behaviour, like it might have had a woman on a roof or something, or a woman,
you said it might have had,
or a child splashing in a waterfall or something in a dangerous thing.
Without somebody standing by saying that could be dangerous.
Yes, someone needs. If there's something vaguely dangerous, someone has to say, "Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that." So you do have to make a film suitable for audiences aged 4 and over.
Yes. Oh, is there more? Oh, yes, fine. And don't expect a huge trophy or prize money. Don't expect a huge trophy or prize worth any money if you win. If you win, I'm reading this out. If you win, do expect to have your film shown at proper London Cinema in front of an audience and us, unfortunately. And do expect to have your film certificated by the BBFC. That's only if you win, of course. And do inspect the terms and conditions to apply.
Yeah, there's a special... I thought you read that with such verve and panache.
Thank you.
It was extraordinary. There is a special website. You can find everything you need to know. bbc.co.uk/welldoneyou. That's you as in the letter U, not as in YOU, and it's all one word, obviously.
Closing date 6 p.m. August 28th. Don't leave it till then. Start now or maybe wait until the end of the show. We'll announce the shortlist in October and the winner by the end of the year, and have a look at the BBC's Get Creative stuff online. You'll find some useful tips on filmmaking.
Again,
brilliantly read.
Beautifully read.
What happened was I kind of lost my motivation about 10 minutes ago.
The problem, I guess,
which is why when Amma made a very funny joke about I'm trying to figure out whether I'm I completely witlessly went, oh no, you are.
I thought it was my delivery.
You were too deadpan for me. So
the only reason that we do all the do's and the don'ts is when you're doing a competition, first of all, you have to have them. But also it was heartbreaking to actually say, look, this is a beautiful film. In fact, this film could have won, but we're going to have to disqualify you because, your husband's in TV, or that child should have been told that you can't behave like that. So you just have to make sure that everybody thinks they understand what a U certificate movie is. It's just got some extra tricks in there.
Gotcha.
So the great thing about having Amma here is that she's a proper filmmaker.
Yes, and she's going to be properly joining us in properly
judging it.
Yeah.
So the three of us
crucial bit of information that
are actually going to decide who the winners are. But I will defer in all things to what Amma thinks. So I agree with Amma. I'd just like to say in future.
Very, very exciting. I'm really, really excited to see what comes up because I saw last year's winner.
Pong.
Pong was so beautifully done.
Wasn't it?
I mean, the production values sort of made me slightly nervous, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it was it fitted the bill in every way in terms of what you've just said about the do's and don'ts. And it's just a sweet, sweet, sweet story of the journey of a ping pong ball and a spring that get caught in the rain. How you tell a story in 2 minutes, I think, is a challenge, but a beautiful challenge. And I just thought that the winner last year just did, or winners, was it more than one?
Well, Philip Chidell takes the credit on the. If you go to the website, you can see all the shortlisted films. By the way, we want to see them again, and you can watch Pong because it's definitely
it's just
up there.
lovely. It's really lovely.
What would your advice be, Amma? Do you need to have a screenplay for a 2-minute film as much as you would for a 2-hour film? I mean, what would you say?
Well, you know what, I am a writer-director, and so I do, I wave the flag for the screenplay, as often as I can. But I do think that there's a beauty to be had in having a magical idea that you allow to develop as you go along. I think there's something that develops when you let instinct guide you in the filming process. That said, I'm a screenwriter. I love the idea of letting those moments happen as I write, knowing exactly what I'm going to shoot before I shoot it, finding people to work with me that kind of share my vision, the idea of collaborating with people. You can do that with whether you have a script or not, but I love the idea of having a script as well. I mean, I don't know what the winner last year had. I can't really tell.
I imagine that it was all sort of very thoroughly storyboarded because, of course, it was, the way it worked was I mean, we should say this. When people talk about scripts, and we've talked about this before, people tend to think that script means dialogue. Script doesn't mean dialogue. Script can be completely like a description, shot by shot by shot. That's what script writing is. So don't
set up.
Yeah, exactly. So
and he did make a video about the making of Pong,
which is lovely.
Which if you look for, so you can see precisely how he went about it,
and also is significantly longer than Pong. Because Pong,
yes, absolutely.
Pong's
2 minutes, and the making of
about half an hour. Yeah,
that's so funny. Well, every frame to me, every setup looks so extraordinarily put together that I feel like he'd storyboarded it or possibly written a script. But I mean, the framing was just absolutely gorgeous. It's possible that it was just something that emerged as they went along. But I'm going to go and watch the making of now to find out because I feel like I need to know. And I'm just at the point now in my work where we're deciding, which scenes do we storyboard and which scenes do we allow to just work from the script on. So
can you tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing a wonderful, wonderful film that just kind of came at me out of nowhere, almost sideways, a couple of months ago, called A United Kingdom, which is the passion project that a wonderful actor named David Oyelowo who's
been on the show,
who has obviously definitely been on this show, and has been sort of walking around with the script under his arm for a few years now, based on a wonderful, wonderful book by Suzanne Williams called Colour Bar, and it's set in 1940s England and Botswana. It's a sweeping, sweeping love story against a political backdrop. Of course, it's an interracial love story, and it's a story of a young prince who falls in love, and a young African prince, I should say, who falls in love with a white British girl when he comes here to study at Oxford, and really what happens when he takes her back to Africa. It's an amazing story that if it didn't happen, you couldn't make it up in so many ways, and it's really about the fallout amongst the British government and the South African government and the administration in Botswana when these two get together. And it's a love will conquer all type story.
And David Oyelowo's involved as a producer rather than as an actor.
He's both.
Oh, great.
David's going to be my producer. He's my boss. He's my boss man, as well as the leading actor.
Fantastic.
And he's playing against the wonderful, brilliant Rosamund Pike, who I have admired for so long and was so happy to receive all the accolades and the attention that she got from Gone Girl. And I just feel incredibly lucky that we've been able to.
That you have to say.
Her.
that's a strong cast. You'd go and see that movie now straight away based on that cast and your description.
I would go and see this movie, and that's why I sort of said, well, just based on the script and David, I jumped on board, and then we all loved the idea of Rosamund and sent her the script, and she loved it, and I just feel very, very, very lucky. And then, of course, we've got these you've got the juxtaposition between London and Botswana. 1940s post-war London, it's 1947, so we're talking still ration cards, and then you go to these big, huge, enormous flat landscapes of Botswana. So I've got Simon Bowles on board.
Is Tom Wilkinson going to be in it?
I wish.
Oh, okay.
I wish we could find a way to get him. The only person from Belle so far is behind the scenes, and that's my production designer, who I know tweets you regularly.
Yes. The production design of that film was fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited to have him on board. And as I say, yeah, we're just at the stage at the moment where we're asking the question that you were asking for anybody who might enter this competition, which is, what scenes do we storyboard?
Can you just explain a little bit with relation to your work, but also people are now thinking, okay, I might make a movie.
Yeah.
How do you go about storyboarding? What's the importance of that in the first place?
Well, I mean, for me, I always like to storyboard complicated scenes. So that's scenes where there are lots of people involved, where you are going to have to shoot the relationship between many people, if that makes sense. So you're not just going across a table between two people, but you might be, for instance, going across a table with 7 people, or it might be a riot scene, for instance. It might be a scene where you're going to have lots and lots of shots, and you're somehow going to have to tie it together in a way that emerges as a story that makes sense in that moment. And so I usually look at very big setups, go through the script, look at very big setups, and I sit down with my DOP, and we work together. I describe to him, he's usually a better drawer than I am, he or she. So I describe exactly how I'm seeing this scene or this moment unfold, and together we create the frames, if you like, the moment by moment shots that will create the scene in the first place. And sometimes you get to shoot it, you start shooting it and you don't follow the storyboard completely, but you at least have it to fall back on. It's it's the spine that holds everything up for you when you're doing quite a complicated scene in one way or another. So, I mean, and some people just want to do it when it's a single person or maybe a single ping pong ball rolling through a garden. They might want to do that because what's in the background is complicated. And they want to make sure that their DP, their director of photography, understands everything that they want in frame in that moment. Don't go wider than this, or don't pan to one side or the other. Stick to the focus of this particular shot. That's another reason perhaps to do a storyboard. So directors do them for different reasons, but certainly for me, it's usually a complicated setup.
I think Amma should just judge the competition on her own, because basically you and I, we can't add it.
We're not going to have an argument.
No. I need it because I want to sit with you and I want to hear the rants. I want to hear
rants.
I know it'll all be good.
Of course it will. It will all be lovely.